Greetings to you all. In the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Happy Independence Day. All Americans are celebrating the independence from Britain. And what it takes is like whenever we are liberated, whenever we are free, there's always a joy, there's always a celebration that people enjoy and celebrate. One of the things during the series we are talking about is how to think from a God's perspective, because a lot of times we are influenced by Satan, its thoughts, its actions, and it controls us, our minds, for all the time. And so what this series is all about is getting liberated from their thoughts and then thinking from the God's perspective, from the Christ perspective. How do we look from His side? What are the decisions are we making? So this is the series which we are studying, like putting on the mind of Christ for the last few weeks. And last week we talked about overcoming the temptations, overcoming the temptations, because this is where everyone faith. There is not a single person in the world who can say, I'm strong, I don't have any temptations, and I don't have any weaknesses, or there's nobody. In this world, we are all prone to weakness, we are all prone to temptations, we all are to fall in one way or another. But what we are looking is the persistent temptation, the same problem. We keep falling. We cover and then say, I should not do it, and then we keep doing it. We feel regret about it, and then the next moment we get trapped again and we do it again. It's the same thing. Persistently we failing. So how do we overcome like that? When we think we are doing wrong and then end up doing again. And so we look from a biblical perspective. How can we overcome this? And last week I looked at the overall 9 points, or there looked at 5 points, and today we will cover 4 more points. And then we look at, I'll overview overall the first 5 points as well, just to connect it, and then we look at deeper way in trying to find out the next 4 points. The change of thought process is called metanoia, which is in Greek called, but in English it's called repentance. So from our thoughts, most of our time, what we think may not be right. We may think it is right, but it is not right. A lot of times it happens. So if we think from a God's angle, that is called repentance. That's a change of thought. We're looking from a God's perspective, it's called repentance. And so that is what we are looking at it. There are many areas we always have to change, every day to day our life. That's how we become like Christ. Because becoming like Christ means changing everything one by one in our character, in our behavior. Because we cannot be perfect overnight. We can be perfect only when we are with Christ. Until that point, it's always a changing process. We keep changing, So the pattern we get captured is always good intentions, failure, and guilt. We have good intentions, but we fail, and then we feel guilt. Why did I do that? So this is a common pattern of failure, common pattern of temptation. So we'll look at these 9 areas. And so before we get into that, we have to understand what is temptation, how the temptation really works. That's the point number 1, is just to understand how the temptation works. Last week I looked at in detail about it, but I just want to give you an overview. You cannot defeat temptation if you do not understand how temptation works. So you have to understand how the temptation works, because how Satan handles this temptation, we have to understand it. Because if you look at it, Satan will always use the same strategies all the life. That it never changes. Whatever it used on Adam and Eve, it's the same strategy it uses on all of us even today. So Bible tells us is that we have to know how Satan operates. If we don't know how Satan operates, then we end up into this trap. And if you look at it, when Eve was tempted by Satan, what did he say? Did God say not to eat any fruit in the garden? That's what Satan said. But what did God say? don't eat the fruit which is in the middle of the garden. He said only one tree fruit, God said don't eat. But what Satan was telling to Eve is, did God say not to eat any fruit in the garden? So basically, it's starting with a lie. It's giving a lie to the Eve, trying to trap there. So this is how the Satan operates. It looks like the same. Did God eat any fruit or God eat one fruit? So, but Eve correctly pointed to Satan, no, God told me not to eat the fruit in the middle of the tree. But then Satan said, no, it's not. Nothing happens to you, you will not die. You only become like God. That is the trap Satan uses. You will be like God, you will know good and evil. So that is the trap that Satan had put on the Eve. So that is the same trap all along the life that Satan is putting on all of us. You will be like God. And so that, what it means, you will be like God means that we will make our own decisions. Who is somebody to tell us what to do, what not to do? Because whenever people look at God, they fear because God tells us, don't do this, this is right, this is wrong. People don't like it. That's why they say, I don't want God. Why people, a lot of atheists say, I don't want God's name to be here, I don't want God's name on the statue, I don't want God's name on the cross, all these things, I don't want. Why? The only reason is they want to be their God. I want to be my God. I am God myself. I make my own decisions. I don't want anybody to tell me what is right, what is wrong. That's why they hate. And so that is how we have to look. So the 4 points are like from it, how the temptation works is a wrong desire inside of me. That's the first step. Because that is what it happens. If you have a wrong desire, and that is the starting of any temptation. A desire can be right sometimes, but end up doing it in the wrong way. Or a desire can be wrong, and from the beginning itself. Then the next thing is, that Satan does is doubt God's word. What did God really say not to do this? So first the desire comes, then God will, Satan will say, doubting us the God's word. Did God really say don't do it? Did God really say don't say this way? So basically, making us doubt all these things. And then the third point it comes is deception. Once it gets the desire, and then comes to doubt, and then the third point it comes is the deception. It's no big deal. And then you believe in Satan's lie. So what it says, first it relates down God's word, and then it gives us an idea, it's no big deal, everybody is doing it. You are not alone. So it gives a deception. So you fall into the deception and you believe in Satan's lie. And then the fourth one you do is disobedience. So I'm hooked and defeated. Once you are, obey whatever Satan was telling you, and then you disobey, and then you commit doing things what you should not be doing. And then, even after you do the sin, and if it's, it's a sin, what Satan tells us, it's okay, it's natural, it's no big deal. So it gives us the comfort to say, not to feel as make us guilty. Generally when people do anything wrong, they feel that guiltiness. Even though the temptation will make us force us to do things, but sometimes our conscience will make us feel guilt. But Satan tries to do it. It tries to convince us what we did is not bad. Not great people fallen, it will not be deal. So what that gives us things is people get hooked up and defeated and keep doing again and again. So this is how the Satan operates the temptation. It gives a desire, and then it will make us doubt God's word, and then it gives a deception of Satan's word, and then the fourth word we get disobedience. We do that. So that's the way. The next step is you need to know what makes me vulnerable. First thing is understand how temptation works. Those are the 4 steps we looked at it. And the next one is you need to know what makes me vulnerable to sin. What makes me vulnerable to sin? Because everyone is falls to certain level of sin, temptations. And what happens is we give opportunity to the devil. We give a foothold to devil. Once we give a foothold to devil, then devil takes over. If you don't give a foothold to devil, it's very hard for devil to come in and tempt us. So most of the common problems where people give foothold is negative emotions. We saw that negative emotion. We keep negative all our life. the devil is always on near to, just trying to, that's entrance you are giving to the devil. So negative emotions should, Bible says is above all, guard your heart and affects everything you do. Bible talks about guard your heart because it's a heart that causes problems. It's not about what we do, it's about what we think. A lot of times the problem comes here is, whatever we think, then the desire will change the thoughts will change emotions, and emotions will commit us to do the wrong things. So to defeat the temptation, what we have to do is not focus on the behavior, but focus on the thoughts. So the thoughts are the dangerous zone. So we have to be able to guard our thoughts. Satan plays with our emotions every day of our life. That's the manipulator. Satan is a major manipulator of our thoughts. And once we are emotionally hooked, we're done. So that is where we have to be very, very careful to see that where we are going wrong. When certain negative emotions rise up in your life, then you are set up for a certain trap. So you have to always remember, when negative emotions keep on increasing, then you are set up for a downfall. Last night I put on the WhatsApp some of the heart checkup of the 10 futures. And last week I discussed in detail about it, but I mentioned in the WhatsApp so we can able to look at it. So those 10 areas, when you are gauging it, I want all to gauge it for yourself, because this is how you check your emotional strength of your heart. If you are a certain level of emotionally, then I will tell, last week I gave the scores and all that, but I will share it in the WhatsApp later. But I want people to do that, because if you do that, then we will know where are we with that emotional strength angle. Because the more you are vulnerable emotionally, the more you fall into temptation. The stronger you are emotionally, the lesser you fall into temptation. So that is what the thing is. The longer we are in the weak side, that's a danger zone. So the next thing is, the first thing we saw is understand how temptation works. The second is you need to know what makes me vulnerable. And the third is learn my pattern of temptation. Each one has a certain pattern. We all fall to a certain pattern of sin. And what Satan does is, Satan knows all our patterns, what is our weak area. But the problem is, if we don't know our pattern, then we don't know how Satan is going to come after us. So we have to understand our pattern. Understanding what our weak areas is the is the wisdom. I will call it wisdom, because once we know the pattern Satan is coming, we can face it in the beginning only. We don't want to say no at the end, because we can't say no. Because when we come to the end, the Satan forces. So we have to do that no in the beginning only. So that is how we have to know what our weak areas. Sometimes we try to defend ourselves. I don't have any weak areas, I'm fine, I'm stronger, and we don't acknowledge ourselves. But we always have to look at smart people who are wise. They try to understand their weaknesses and try to figure out, where the Satan is coming, and then able to prevent it. Some of the questions you have to ask is, when am I most tempted? Where am I most tempted? Who is with me when I'm most tempted? What temporary benefit do I get if I give in? These are the 4 areas you have to look when we are looking at from individual angle. And how do I feel before I'm tempted? There are different symptoms you have. Maybe you're fearful, maybe you're bored, maybe you're lonely, angry, cannot sleep. There are some symptoms before you fall into that. So you have to look at these things. What is my weak area? Where am I falling into this? And then, then the next step we have to do is, once we identify our patterns, then we have to do is avoid those situations, plan to avoid those situations. And so we have to carefully avoid that. What scripture says is, plan carefully what to do, avoid evil, and walk straight ahead. Don't go one step off the right way. Proverbs 4:26-27. Because it's very important, because if we think somebody wants to stop smoking, And if if they come close to people constantly with people who smoke, they can't control their temptation, because the pressure will come and they smoke. If somebody says, if somebody wants, drinking habit is there, they have to make sure they don't go to that place where all the bars, everybody are drinking. So you have to prevent all the areas and stay away from it. Plan to avoid those situations. And then, no matter how you do, you still may fall into some situations, unexpectedly. You may be careful, you may be doing every prevention you can do, but you end up doing falling into something, suddenly things may come accidentally. So what you do is, the fifth point is, cry out to God and quote scriptures. When we come to the pressure, when we come to the point where, we can't come out, it's very harder to come out, then we have to cry out to God, ask God, Lord, help me out. I'm not able, I don't have the strength to come out of this. I want you to help me, So we have to call to God. There are many scriptures, Bible says, call to Him and I will answer you. Call to me, I will answer you. Because Jesus knows what we go through, because He is 100% human when He is on this earth. And He faced the same temptation what you and I face. So we should not be thinking, I should not, this is a small thing, we should not ask God, but anything we have to ask God, because Jesus knows everything, because He went through the anger, the struggle to anger, fatigue, loneliness. He was there. He was all alone. And so, you don't, anytime when you feel you're pressured, with something, you remember that Satan is pressuring you to do something wrong. Immediately cry out to God, asking, Lord, help me out. Help me to come out of this. And, we should never be thinking, I've been grown Christian all my life, how am I feeling this and all that. All our life we will be tempted in our life. There is not an age we will be, exempted. This is part of what we are in a broken planet, So, what to do with that, what is important, sometimes we get intimidated. We feel that, why am I getting this thought? And then we worry about those things. See, getting thoughts is not wrong. Satan throws thoughts with us so many times. But what to do with the thought is the critical things. Is it a sin or not? Is how you execute the thought. When a thought comes, you should be able to stop it. But if you try to get the thought in action, that is what the problem is. So we have to be careful in that. Another thing is, the more closer to God, the more attacks come on you, the more things we will be, you will be tempted and fall into. If you look at it, many times, you see that people, very godly people, pastors or elders or, people do a lot of ministries there. We have seen again and again fallen into the trap and ministries falling down. Because pastors' families are affected big time, Satan attacks in many ways, pastors' wives and children, because that's the way target is. Satan always targets the name, because every person is human. They all have weaknesses, but Satan goes through these weaknesses and traps them. And so there will be more attacks on it and the people who are serving God than normal people. But if somebody understands that, they will prevent it ahead of time, not to get into the problem. So the next point is that the quotes. Bible have given many scriptures for us. Right? So the scriptures you have to remember it, when memorize it. Suppose we are angry, we get angry very fast, and we just quickly throw our words out. We have to look at some scriptures in the Bible that says, how to control anger, what is not, we should not do. Memorize it. We know our weak area is. So whatever weak area is, look at the scriptures related to the weak area and memorize it. Because when we are in a bad situation, we don't open the Bible and look at it, where is this verse, how can this verse will be? We don't know, we don't have time to do that. But if the verse is in the memory, the Holy Spirit will help us to remember that verse and then give us strength to overcome it. That's why the memory, the Bible have to be in our memory all the time, because that is very important. So the next point is, this is where we focus on, is refocus my attention on something else. Refocus my attention on something else. So here, We have been taught when we are tempted, we need to resist temptation. That's something we always heard. When we are tempted, we have to resist it. See, but the Bible says the Bible now says, don't resist the temptation. Bible says is resist the tempter, resist the devil, and that is a different issue. And we handle that one in a different way. Very important because nowhere in the Bible it says do not resist the temptation. Why? Because whenever you resist, it persists. Anything you resist means you are focusing on it. Whenever you resist something, you are focusing on that issue, that temptation. Whenever you focus on something, you are still being tempted. So you have to remember, when you resist, it persists. When you persist, you tempted again. So whatever has your attention, it captures you. So that is why it's very important. If something is drawing our attention and that captures us, what we need to do is, you need to look at something else to break that attention and to break the focus. What it means is, suppose, the key to overcoming temptation is not to resist but to refocus. Just turn your mind to something else. Suppose like if you are watching a TV or something, if some show is there that makes us sad or bad or scary or feeling that giving us wrongful thoughts, what we have to do is change the channel. We just have to move on. We can't just sit there and then assume things that it will have a change there. So anytime the focus has to be changed, you just have to, that is the way you resist the temptation, change the focus. You cannot control the thoughts coming into your mind, but you can control by changing the focus, by changing the channel. So that is how, changing the channel is the refocus in your life. In Bible terms, it is called repentance. Romans 12:21 says, don't let evil conquer you, but conquer evil with good. Don't let evil conquer you, but conquer evil with good. This is called the principle of replacement. So don't say no while focusing on the negative. Always if you say something, don't do it. Remember kids, don't say, if you say don't do it, they do it. Because their attention is on that. Always the negativity when you say that. So the Bible when it says don't let evil conquer you, but conquer evil with good, what it means is, if you're filled with godly thoughts in our mind, if all the godly thoughts are in our mind, then there is no chance for no room for tempting thoughts, the negative thoughts. But if, people always call it the idle brain is the devil's workshop. If we let these thoughts, negative thoughts sitting there, then we end up in this, evil will be able to take control of us. Philippians 4:8 says, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Very important words. Think about it. Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. That's what God was telling us. These are the kind of thoughts we need to have. If we have this kind of thoughts, we will be in a very better shape. Because our mind is occupied with godly way of thinking. As we said, temptation starts in your mind. It does not start somewhere else. Sometimes when you look at the temptation, you only look from a lust or sexual angle. But temptation is not only that. Temptation can be anything. Temptation can be, temptation to close, temptation to anger, temptation to lust, temptation to criticize, gossip, temptation to anger. Anything. I heard a story sometime back that there was a lady who filled her closet with thousands of pairs of shoes. And one TV channel did an interview and she asked her, why did you buy all these shoes? thousands of shoes in the closet. And she said, like, I just like it. Whenever I go to a store, if I like something, I buy it. But there are so many pairs, hundreds of pairs, she did not even open the box. It's her temptation, when she likes something, she looks at it, buys it, keeps it there. Because that's her temptation, that's her weakness. So she should not go to the store and look at the shoes, right? So if she knows she has a problem, she should not do it. There are, sometimes, you see that people buy clothes like that, They constantly keep buying clothes. They never stop. Whether they need it, they don't need it, they keep looking. And a lot of the sales people know that. They know where your weakness is. And they keep calling you, say, so madam, there's a new, some celebration, some festival is coming and the new stock is coming, this coming, that coming, whatever it is, they tempt you. And then you go to the store and you buy again. You don't need it, but you buy again. See, those are the temptations we have to be able to break out. We should not be forced to, and we should be able to control it. James 1:15 says, then after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it's full grown, gives birth to death. That's what the scripture says. First, the desire first is conceived, and then it gives birth to sin, and then when it's fully grown, then birth gives to death. That's the steps. First it gets attention, and then it gets emotions, and then it leads to action. Those are the three steps it takes. First it gets your attention, and then the emotions will come, and then the emotions will lead us to action. If you want to stop any bad habit in your life, do not stop the action. You need to stop the attention. You need to stop the thoughts and the emotions. That is where the whole thing is. Whatever gets your attention, gets you. That's all it is. If something gets your attention, then that's it. You are hooked up there. And so it's hard to break the temptation. The only way to break the temptation is changing. That attention should not be at all focused on it. Just change the channel, change the concentration on that. What I'm trying to teach here is the more you focus on something, the stronger it becomes in your life. The more you focus less on it, it weakens in your life. That's how it is. The more you fight a feeling, the more it controls you. This is the way you always have to think. Sometimes we keep thinking, I want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to. The more we think that way, it controls you. Fighting the feeling will never give you the freedom. If you ignore it, it weakens. That is how it works. 2 Corinthians 10:5, we capture every thought and we make it obey Christ. We capture every thought, we make it obey Christ. This is the practice we and I have to do. So every thought that comes into our mind, we have to capture it and put it, whether it's obeying the Christ principle or not. If you do that, if we make a practice, then we will be fine. Sometimes we try to argue with the devil. When the devil tries to tempt us, we try to argue it. You should never argue with the devil, because you are going to lose. Because the devil has been arguing for thousands of years, and he knows how to argue and win the battle on us. The only thing is, we have to take the help. We have to get away from it without arguing. Because think about it. When Joseph was tempted by Potiphar's wife, what did he do? He didn't try to argue and think, I should not do it, I should not do it, I'm here. He just ran. He just ran from that place. He didn't think twice. I should not be here, that's it, I moved away, he ran. See, that is what the thing is. You have to escape from it. You should focus away from it. You should not think that I can handle it. A lot of people do things like that. When somebody is a bad habit in there, they think, it's okay, I can go and sit there and not be tempted. I'm fine. But if you are there, the Satan gets your weak area and then you're out. So a lot of times, this is where a lot of people do, a lot of kids, when you see these get-togethers and high school, all these times, people, when kids get together, a lot of stuff, they happen. But if you know there is something wrong, if you don't want to get into that environment, you should not go. If you try to go there and say, I can be stronger, you can't. So these are the things you always have to look at it. And then you have to, don't pay any attention to it, and then just ignore whatever is causing your attention. Next thing is, point 7 is, join a small group for support. Our church is a small group. If you look at the bigger churches, you go to the bigger churches, a lot of times you don't even know who you are, and you can't share with anyone what your problems are. There is nobody to pray for you. There are many people who come, but unless you are in part of a small group where you can ask for somebody to pray for you and pray for you, then that's the comfort we need. God wired all of us, to be a part of a support group. He wired us in a way that we need each other. We need each other, very important. As a community, why we get together is that we need each other to pray for each other, to stand for each other. And that's how God wired us. Hebrews 10:25 says, let us not give up the habit of meeting together as some are doing. Instead, let us encourage each other all the more. That's what the scripture says. We have to build a habit of meeting each other and encourage each other. This is very important because a lot of times, when we don't encourage each other, then who will encourage? And so the community should be in a way that we all be able to stand together and able to, when somebody is going through some tough time, able to encourage them. Revealing the feeling is the beginning of the healing. A lot of times we go through so many struggles and we don't open up. When we don't open up, then it's very harder to get relief from it. But if you think about it, many times we share that feeling with someone, it gets a relief in our day. Because many times in counseling sessions, a lot of pastors say people call and talk for a lot of time, half an hour, 1 hour, they open up all their problems. They tell, going through this and going through that. Telling themselves like this will get them a relief. Because that is the beginning of the healing. When you open up and you tell someone, then it's a process of healing. I get calls like that, so many times. People keep telling me, all these things. Because that is how you get relief. Tensions just drain out when you are not alone. When you are part of a group, then tensions will not drain you. James 5:16 says, admit your faults to each other and pray for each other, so that you may be healed. Scripture was very clear. We have to admit the faults to each other and pray for each other that you may be healed. If you want to be forgiven, you just tell God, Lord, forgive me, and God will forgive us. But if you want to be healed, you need to tell someone else. That's how God wired us. God wired the people in a way to heal emotions. We need to share it. God wired the world in such a way that we get healed when we tell someone what we are struggling with. Why? Because it is liberating. It helps us to liberate. The moment you tell someone what you're struggling with, it weakens the grip on us. That's how it happens. The minute you tell, you lose the grip, it weakens the grip on you. If you cannot tell if you feel like, I don't want to tell anyone, I don't want to share with anyone, that means it is out of control because you are holding you and it has that grip on you. But I'm not saying that we should be sharing with everyone all the problems what we face. We should have at least one person we can be able to share with, and our pastor or someone who can trust you, and able to share this. The more you release it, the better it will be. Hiding the hurt will only intensify it. Admitting it will help to reduce that, the confession of temptation with the Jews, then instead of falling into the sin. The more we are able to open up in the beginning and take help, take prayer support, and then we don't end up doing the mistake. That is why you always need a accountability partners. If you are humble in sharing the temptations, God will give enough grace to overcome it. This is the fundamental thing you always have to remember. And then what's point 8 is, enlist one friend to share my struggle. You're not going to have a victory by yourself. A lot of times we can't have a victory by ourselves. We can't fight it by ourselves. Our will is not enough to fight ourselves. You need to tackle as a team. And the way you tackle it, you have to share at least one friend, at least one person to share about your struggles. Ecclesiastes 4:9-10 says, Two are better than one because together, if one falls down, the other can help him up. But if someone is alone and falls, there is no one to help him. So two are better than one. Together, if one falls down, others will lift you up. But if you are alone and falls, then no one can help you up. It's very important because we have to be able to give permission to some person who can tell us what we are wrong, what are we doing things. Somebody should be able to help us, to tell us, that openly. This is what friends do. True friends are somebody who walk into your life when everybody walk out. That is the significance of it. Bible says we need that kind of people for some problems in life. Sometimes people struggle with the same problem for years, 30 years, 40 years struggle. They don't open up, they don't have plans to overcome it. They just struggle and then die with that kind of problem. If somebody is serious, they can get over with that. Galatians 6:2 says, by helping each other with your troubles, you truly obey the law of Christ. By helping each other with your troubles, you truly obey the law of Christ. Very important thing. The more you help each other, the more you pray for each other, the more you support each other. That is where you can truly obey the Christ. Very important is when we need friends that we can able to share things and who can able to be with us and support us. True friends obviously are the people who understands you and who remembers, who knows your problems, who knows your struggles and stand with you, and who can openly tell you what is wrong in your life, what is wrong, what is the fix you can. That is why one of the times I always have is with a couple of pastors. I come to me all the time. I always ask them to check with me and correct me every area what I'm doing it, and because that is how you can able to know where you are failing, where your weaknesses are, where some areas you need to improve on. And so think about a friend whom you can share your struggle, and then you could be able to win them. That you could be able to be relieved from some of the pain. One of the things you always have to remember is that person should be confidential. Somebody who understands you, who knows you, who loves you, and who makes a prayer partner to you and who can support you. This is very important because if you don't have anyone like that, then you struggle because who do I share? Because if we don't, that will, if we are holding everything in our heart, if we don't share it, the pain will not be relieved. The pain only there is relieved, healed, when we share it with someone. The rule of thumb is always remember is when somebody is talking negatively about someone, they always can talk negatively about you as well. So this is always, we have to be careful when we want to, because these are sometimes we share confidential things. You need to have the trust in that person, that they can be a comforter to you, not somebody who makes it more bad to you. So the last thing you have to remember is that God is on my side. The ninth word is remember God is on my side. He's rooting for you and He wants you to win. God is saying, I'm with you. I understand you. I understand the struggles you go through. I understand the pressures you go through. I understand your weak areas. I know it. Because if you look at it, Jesus, when He resisted, when He was in the temptation, He resisted using the scriptures, in Deuteronomy. 3 times the Satan tempted Him. 3 times He used scripture to overcome it. Those are the scriptures Jesus gave in Deuteronomy to Israelites when they are in wilderness. And Jesus, when He was in wilderness, when Satan attacked Him, used the same scriptures to overcome it. So that is how it works. So when Jesus is with us, you always have to remember that He is there, He remembers us, and He helps us to overcome it. So we have to get as much word as possible on our mind, so that way we can be able to have the strength to overcome it. 1 Corinthians 10:13, it says, when temptations come into your life, remember that there is no different from what others commonly experience, and God is faithful. He will never let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. Also, when you are tempted, He will show you a way out so that you will be able to understand it. So there are a lot of, when you look at all the temptation, everybody has a lot of common things. That is why we need each other to pray for each other, because that is how, everybody can overcome in a different way. But that will help us, that solution may help us. If that scriptures we share may help us, that can be overcome it. That's what scripture was saying, because it always says, God will not allow us to be tempted beyond what we can bear. During this process of learning, God will help us to get stronger and stronger. And 1 Corinthians 15:57 says, we give thanks to God because He gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. That is how it is. We give thanks to Him because He gives us the victory. And the victory can only come through Jesus Christ. So the 10 points we look at is, understand how temptation works. You need to know what makes me vulnerable to sin. Learn my pattern of temptations. Plan to avoid those situations. Cry out to God and quote scripture. Refocus my attention on something else. Join a small group for support. Enlist one friend to share my struggle. Remember, God is on my side. Finally, the solution for what you want to change in your life is not the willpower, and willpower is not strong enough for us to overcome it, break the habits. The solution is to give us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. That is the good news, and that is the gospel, and God has promised us to help us to overcome it. Amen. Loving Heavenly Father, we love you, Lord. We thank you, we worship you. We thank you, Lord, for the word you have given to help us to overcome the weak areas in our life. Lord, each one is weak in certain areas. Lord, we don't know sometimes how to come over there, overcome that. And sometimes we keep falling into the same things again and again, unable to come out of the grip of the satanic temptations, Lord. Lord, our willpower is not enough for us to overcome it, Lord. Lord, we need your strength, we need your power, we need your counsel and support, and Lord, help us to overcome that. Lord, we pray for all our families here, who go through different challenges in their life. Like whatever the challenge they are facing, Lord, we pray that you give them the strength and give them the encouragement and give them that support they need to overcome whatever the challenge they are going through. And you bless each one of their families, Lord. You take care of them. Lord, we pray for all the families who are here, who are not able to come. In Jesus' name we pray.